Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm excited to do probably my top video on the channel that I always get requests on is these top lists that I do at the end of the year. This one in particular, a lot of you guys seem to like, which is my Nintendo Switch top local multiplayer games for the year, and today we're here to do my top 12 for 2022. This is a shorter list than some of the other years that I've done, because usually I do top 20 or even top 25. And I've done this every year, so if you guys want to watch them, they'll be linked down below so you can see all of the different ones, because this is based on the local multiplayer games for that year, so all of these lists are different. You're not going to see like Mario Party on here or Mario Kart, because those came out in prior years and they're on other ones of my list. But it was actually a little bit hard to get a lot of local multiplayer games out there for this year. I feel like there was a shortage of local multiplayer games compared to prior years on the Nintendo Switch, so that's why this one is a top 12 and not a top 20 or top 25. However, these top 12 games are really fun local multiplayer games, and I'm really glad to bring you guys another year of top local multiplayer games on the Switch. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming tech is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, so the first one here coming in at number 12 is Ultra Mega Extra Party Challenge. So this is a game, it comprises of 100 different micro mini games. Think of like WarioWare type games where you're just frantically doing these micro mini games trying to, beat your opponents and stuff like that. That's exactly what this game is. You can play with up to 4 players, and it has over 100 mini games, and you can play versus or cooperative any way you want, and it has a lot of, if you're into like the pop culture and meme culture and stuff like that, some of the mini games definitely remind you of that, of stuff going on in the world. And I think it's a very fun game. I don't think it's as good as the WarioWare franchise, but I do think this is a cool spin-off, and it's much cheaper at only $15, so definitely worthy to check out at number 12. The next one here coming in at number 11 is Richman 11. So this is actually the first time I've actually heard of this game. I know it's been out for a while, obviously, and there's been a lot of games in this genre and series, but for some reason this one missed my radar. And it's kind of like if you took Monopoly and kind of made it a little bit more frantic. So obviously I love board games on this channel, so as soon as I heard this game, I had to check it out. And it is really cool. You're basically going around the board like Monopoly, and you're trying to land on pieces and, obviously take them over, buy them, and then other players will land on them, obviously pay you money, all that kind of stuff. But there's a bunch of cool mechanics that separate this from just being another Monopoly clone, which is the card battling system and stuff like that you actually play cards, and they have these great game-breaking effects that they do depending on what's going on. The graphics are really like, cute looking and stuff like that if you guys are into the characters and stuff like that. A lot of different variety in the levels. I believe there's 11 different maps on the board to play on, and it definitely is it feels like Monopoly, but it's more fun in my opinion, because there's a lot of take that when you're throwing things at opponents and stealing things from opponents. It kind of freshes up the gameplay. If you're into digital board games like I am, this is definitely one to check out. Richman 11 coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is called Slipstream. So this is a arcade racing game that can play up to 4 players, and the game is inspired by the popular series called Outrun and all those early 80s and 90s games that we all love to play in the arcades. The visuals, the music, the games, and the cars and all that kind of have that retro racing game feel from back in the day. The soundtrack in here is really good. I really like the soundtrack of this game, and it is a ton of fun to play with 4 players. Definitely has the outrun / arcadey feel, so if you want to get some racing on with your friends and kind of have an outrun type game, but to play 4 players in split screen, this game definitely fits the bill. Again, I love the graphics. You're obviously going through cities, deserts, forests, mountains, beaches, and all that kind of stuff, drifting around, just like you kind of would in those arcade racing games, trying to go as long as possible. There's a lot of different game modes that you can play in this game as well, so you have a good variety there. So this is definitely a really good arcade racing game. If you guys are looking for that to play with 4 players, check out Slipstream coming in at 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is Grand Mountain Adventure. So this is for all my sports fans, especially extreme sports, and I'm a huge fan of snowboarding and skiing, something that I used to do all the time. And this game is just that, except it's really interesting because it has a top-down view. So it's not like you're doing a first or third person snowboarding and skiing game. It's actually a top-down view, and it has over 12 mountains from around the world that you can explore. There's over 100 different races and trick types and really wacky missions that you could tackle, like being chased from a bear and avalanches that you're racing from, and trying to take down all the skiers as you're going down the mountain. It's really, really cool. And there's hours and hours and hours worth of content in here. And the local multiplayer in this game is just so much fun. The fact that you can have 4 players, kind of challenge them to go down the mountain together so you can get the highest score, so you can, race down the mountain first. It's really, really, really fun in split screen, and there's so much to do and so much to see. Like I said, exploring is half the fun in this game. Grand Mountain Adventure coming in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is Just Dance. So this is the 2023 trailer that you guys are watching right now. The game for 2023 actually doesn't come out till later this month, but I wanted to include it on this list because technically Just Dance 2022 came out in November of last year, and that was after I did my video, so it kind of falls in line with it being on this list either way you look at it, because it was made after I did my last top games on the Switch. And this game deserves to be on anyone's catalog. If you're a fan of dancing and stuff like that, this is obviously a lot of fun to play with your friends. Has been a long running series, and there's a reason for that, because obviously a lot of people love dancing to the latest hits, and every year it comes out, there's not much that changes except for the fact that you get 40 new tracks to play on from that year, which is essentially what they do every year. But it is a lot of fun if you're into these dancing games and stuff to play with your friends, and definitely sits itself well to being a great local multiplayer party game on the Switch, especially if you're a fan of these types of games. So definitely check out Just Dance, either 2022 from last year or wait for the 2023 release that is coming out here in the next couple of weeks, coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Taiko no Tatsujin Rhythm Festival. I probably butchered that name here, but this is a long-running franchise that I really, really like. As a huge fan of music rhythm games, this game is just so much fun. It has a lot of Japanese music and video game music, which is so much fun. I have the drums, which is my preferred way of playing this game, and this game now has 4-player local multiplayer where you can actually battle each other or play in cooperative. It's a really fun game. Definitely check this one out, coming in at number 7. The next one here coming in at number 6 is Rabbids Party of Legends. So I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I always had a really fun time with the Rabbids party games, especially on the Wii and everything like that. So I was really excited to kind of see this come back on the Nintendo Switch. And this game has over 50 different mini games. Obviously, the fun fact of this game is the Rabbids and the comedic nature that they bring to the game, and just the quirky things that they say as you're playing. I really love the Rabbids franchise, and this brings over 50 mini games that you can play with 4-player local multiplayer as a party game. Obviously, think Mario Party, but just based on the mini games itself. And these mini games, even though we've seen them a lot, they are really fun to play. Obviously, they have kind of the Rabbids flair that a lot of us love, and they do have support for motion controls and button controls and all that kind of stuff that you would expect on the Switch. And it's a hilarious game to play. I love the Rabbids. Like I said, they make me laugh every time you play them, and that's why this game stands out to me. It's the fact that you're playing mini games with the Rabbids. So check this one out, coming in at number 6. The next one here coming in at number 5 is Nickelodeon's Kart Racers 3. So this is another sequel to the Nickelodeon kart racing franchise, and this is easily the best one of the 3 and my favorite they've ever made. Of course, the biggest reason being that they finally have voice acting in the game for all the characters. So this is fantastic. So you'll actually hear the voice characters as they're going around the maps and stuff. And this also has the most content of any of the games that they've ever made. They have a bunch of different tracks on here, over 38, I believe, tracks in the game, 11 of them being brand new to the franchise, and the other ones being ported over from the first 2 games that they made, and obviously getting updated graphics and stuff. It has battle mode, it has new modes that you can play, has online multiplayer, has local multiplayer, of course, which is what we're talking about here. And it is so much fun to play, to be able to, as a huge Nickelodeon fan, to be playing as these characters and have all of the different customization that they have, and all the characters, even if they're not, like, there's like over 38 characters in the game as well. And even if they're not main characters, you can kind of see them in your crew members and stuff, which is really cool. Another way of bringing more Nickelodeon characters to the game, to at least see them and kind of get their tropes and stuff like that in what they do in the game. And I think the game looks fantastic. Check it out, Kart Racers 3. The next one here coming in at number 4 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. So a lot of us have been waiting for this sequel to one of the best arcade beat 'em ups of all time, and we got our sequel here, and it is fantastic. The fact that you can play with up to 6 players on the Nintendo Switch and local multiplayer is so much fun, and the game itself was done super well. Brings all the nostalgic back from playing the original one in the arcades. And they did such a fantastic job with this one. The art style of the game is so much, really creative, really good to look at. I love the characters. I love the design. And I love just having a beat 'em up of this nature kind of brought into the modern era. And I think if you guys are fans of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise and the arcade game and stuff like that, playing this 6-player local multiplayer is going to be a lot of fun and definitely something you're going to want to experience. And it definitely is chaotic. I feel like I like 4 players better just because 6 players has a ton of crazy nonsense going on the screen at the same time. But cool, the fact that it has the 6-player option is awesome. But otherwise, 4 players, of course, is there, and you can play that just as always. So check this one out, guys. This is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, coming in at number 4. The next one here, coming in at number 3, is the Jackbox Party Pack 9. So this is a yearly franchise that I always look forward to every time around the holidays because it is a great party game that you can bring with your friends. It plays up to 8 players, I believe. It may even be more in this one. But they basically release 4 to 5 different games every time a new pack is released every year. And what makes this game really easy to play on the Nintendo Switch is, or any of the systems that this game is on, is that everyone gets to just use their phones, and that's how they get to play these games. It makes a lobby, you go ahead and join your phone. It has all of the different games that you guys are used to, like the trivia games and the drawing games, but their own different takes in each of the time that these packs get released to keep things fresh and stuff. And this one is no different. A bunch of different new games for us to play, and I can't wait to play this through the holiday season. That's where this game shines, and especially since everyone doesn't need a controller and stuff, everyone has a phone nowadays almost, so it makes this game a lot of fun to play. So check out the new Jackbox Party Pack 9, coming in at number 3. The next one here, coming in at number 2, is Nintendo Switch Sports. So this is a sequel to the sports game, the Wii sports games that we all know and love, and I'm super happy that they brought this over to the Switch. Has online multiplayer, but also has local multiplayer, as we usually know. And bringing back bowling brought back all the memories from back in the day. The fact that you can play bowling against people again, so much fun using the Wii controllers, which I think are a little bit more accurate than I remember the Wii being for sure when playing the bowling game. And it's a ton of fun. They have the new ones here, like the soccer minigame, which is a ton of fun to play. You have like a leg strap on and you can actually kick the ball and stuff, which is really fun to play in local multiplayer fashion. And of course, they have the tennis game that we all know and love as well, that you can play with 4 players, and that's always a ton of fun. And again, lends itself to being a little bit more accurate and fun using the Nintendo Switch controllers and stuff, the Joy-Cons. And we have other ones that are coming soon that they've announced. Have announced golf is coming back on here as well as a free update to the game. So it is a ton of fun. I love the volleyball mini game as well. Always have. So there's a ton of different variety of sports games here that you guys can enjoy. If you guys were a fan of the Wii sports game back on the Wii, you guys will definitely love this game. And it obviously is a great party game. People love bowling. People love volleyball. People love tennis, especially if they play the Wii, when it kind of brings back that nostalgic factor again from the Wii days, and kind of playing this all over again as a family with your family and friends. And it's so much fun, guys. Check out Nintendo Switch Sports, coming in at number 2. And the last one here, coming in at number 1, is Mario Strikers Battle League. Now, this is a game that I've been looking forward to ever since it got announced, because I'm a huge fan of the Mario Strikers franchise, the GameCube one being my favorite one of all time. I love that sports game, and we finally got a sequel to that game after the Wii version came out, which wasn't as good as the GameCube one. Was also a ton of fun, and this one nails it in the gameplay department. The gameplay is top notch. All the little changes that they added to the gameplay are fantastic, and it makes it a fantastic local multiplayer game. They have added free updates to have new characters and stuff during the game, and new level or tracks that you can actually play on and stuff, which is really cool, or new fields, sorry, which is really cool that they actually added to it. But one of the main sticking points that I hope they add is that's kind of the only thing missing from this game, is that the fields that you're playing at don't have any extra like things like the old GameCube versions did, where they kind of changed it up, like the lava level where like the volcano was erupting all over the field, which kind of made things change. Here they're basically just aesthetic changes where you can just see the fielders are different, but the fields don't actually have any gameplay mechanics that are making them different. So I hope that that's something that they consider adding in a free update. They have added a few different ones and a few different fields here lately, but nothing that actually changes the gameplay. So that's the only sticking point, but this game is so much fun, coming in at number 1. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that list of my top 12 favorite games on the Nintendo Switch for local multiplayer games for the year of 2022. So, obviously, I will be doing this every year, so you guys can look forward to that and subscribe to my channel every time I make these videos. And I do a lot of other lists like this before. This year I even did a top, I believe it was a top 20 overall local multiplayer games across all the years of the Switch. And things like top local wireless games, which is a really interesting thing, which is different than local multiplayer, but local wireless, where you're actually all using your own different switches. A lot of these different lists that a lot of other people on YouTube are not doing, that you guys may find really interesting if you guys are fans of local multiplayer like I am, especially on the Nintendo Switch. So, if you guys have any questions, or maybe there's a few games that I just didn't see this year that you guys want to talk about down below that have a 3 or 4 player local multiplayer, leave those comments down below so I can take a look at them. And if not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.